So there's a point in my career where things took a turn, not for the worst, for the better. So when I first started, of course, I was doing R&B and hip hop and all of that stuff. I wound up getting saved, and then I decided that I was going to switch up my music style. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to do like your traditional gospel music. I didn't want to do Donnie McClurkin, Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond. I didn't want to do that style. And so I was like, well, maybe I can use my style of what I was doing in R&B and hip hop and bring it over here. And I couldn't really find my footing with it. Like I'm struggling with, is it going to be acceptable? And the funny thing is, I was like, oh, I'm about to do something ain't nobody ever heard before, not knowing that there had been trailblazers prior to who were doing hip hop on the gospel side of things. So my first album was 2006. It was called It's Time for Change. Going back and listening to it now, it's mixed horribly. I think I was using Cakewalk, and then I was making my beats on the demo version of, at the time, Fruity Loops, which is now FL Studio. So I didn't really know what to do. I had a PV microphone set up in the corner of my room, like a performance mic. I didn't have a condenser. I didn't have like a studio setup. I just had a basic computer, demo version of Fruity Loops, a mic, a mixing board that I didn't know how to hook up and run through my computer. The computer was old. But I recorded my first album with that. It's Time for Change. I had a song on there called Witness that did well, that got me booked. And then I also had a song on there called That Boy. That Boy kind of allowed me to start to find my footing. And I didn't really know how that was going to translate. So I started just going and performing everywhere I possibly could. Barbershops, beauty salons, anywhere anybody would have me, I just go and set up, take my CDs that I burned, and go and move. Didn't know anything about marketing or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just get out here and hustle. That's all I knew. From there, I did another album called Redemption in 2007. The biggest song from Redemption was Roll With Us, and that's where I really started to figure out how I wanted to do it, but I was still kind of like teetering the line, because I was like, well, I don't want to sound too much like how I did, because I'll never get booked in church, but also I don't want to do the churchy type music. I want to do what I feel comfortable doing. That's me, you know what I mean? So I started to kind of tread the lines and everything. That's not even the term I'm looking for, but you know what I'm trying to say. So after that, I started working on this album called Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches is where I really started to find my footing. So we dropped that in 2008. Biggest song on that one is two. It was one called She Ain't Saved and another called Resisting My Flesh. So that album actually changed the landscape of what I would do from there on out. After I dropped that one got me booked quite a bit. Like, that one got me booked a lot. I was at church after church, event after event, award shows, all types of stuff. So like I'm moving. I'm not really making no money, but I'm moving, and my music is getting out there. Now I'm starting to travel. Now here comes the album that is like the one that set everything else up, and that was Targeted, which I wound up dropping in 2010.
I'm targeted. Yes, I'm still walking my walk and talking my talk, whether it's in the day or the dark, 'cause I'm targeted.
Targeted is the album that really gave me a position in the Christian hip hop world, if you will. It wasn't really a Christian hip hop album, but it wasn't a praise album, but it wasn't a worship album, but it wasn't an R&B or a regular hip hop album. It was like just me, you know, expressing my faith and how I felt over the beats that I like to make, and that was it. The biggest song on that album, hands down, was I Can Only Be Me.
Hey, this is who I be. I can't be nobody else. I can just be me. If you think I'm gonna change who I am for thee, I will never compromise who I am through he. Can you help me say it?
That one kept me booked. I mean, I Can Only Be Me, that Targeted album, I stayed booked off of Targeted 3 albums later. You see what I mean? I Can Only Be Me was by far the biggest record on there, and there were a lot of fan favorites. That one had 20 tracks on there. So I never really did short albums. Like Redemption, I think, was 15 tracks. I think the shortest album was It's Time for Change. It's Time for Change, I think, had 12 tracks. Redemption had 15, I want to say. Rags to Riches had 17. Targeted had 20. So it was really 19 with a bonus track where I took one of the tracks, which was Crank It Up a Notch. I did an acoustic version. That made track 20. So that album actually started to get me booked. That's the album that I actually won awards with. Producer of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year. I was nominated for a couple of other awards during that time. And then after that, I was already working on another album. So while I was working on the albums, I would always work on the next album in the process of working on that one. And I worked on an album called Real Love 101. I'll never forget it. I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to do something I don't really see a lot of people doing, especially on this side of things. I'm going to drop like a love album from a Christian standpoint. You know what I mean? Nothing involving sex or nothing like that. No sexual music, no nothing. Just strictly love. I was like, it makes sense to me. Like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. People going to eat this up. They're going to love it. So on and so forth. Man, I dropped that album, boy, they dogged me out so bad. They dogged me out so bad on Twitter and everything else. Because at the time, people were calling in and requesting my music to be played on Praise 102.5. And so they was like calling, requesting the music. That was just, whatever. So then you had people requesting songs on V103, 104.1, 107.9 from the Real Love 101 album. Boy, when I tell you, them Christians on Twitter hopped on that mug and was like, boy, you a double-minded man. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You worldly. You want to be like the world. We can't stand people like you. You people know who you are now. Now you switching and you trying to go back to this. This sounds crazy. I mean, I had shows booked that people canceled because I dropped this album, Real Love 101, and it was like the week before, yeah, you can't come. You can't come because you're trying to be like the world. So, I mean, it was crazy. So even now to see where the industry has gone in that genre, the CHH gospel rap, urban gospel community has gone now, it's interesting to see. Because, I mean, when I say I got dogged out, bruh, I got dogged out. Now, I did get nominated for an award with that album, too. I never took it down. I really didn't care like that. I was just like, dang, bro, like I'm just trying to drop an album. Now, most of the people who were saying not to listen to my music, a lot of them were Christian rappers, and I was like confused because in one tweet they'd be like, oh yeah, this for the world, this is worldly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to that, man. This ain't good for your spirit. Don't listen to that. And then in the next tweet, they'll be like, hey, go listen to my Bottoms Up Christian remix. Go listen to my Rick Ross remix. It's the Christian version. We gonna tear the devil head up with this one. And I'm like, bruh, like, what are you talking about right now, dog? Like, I couldn't understand it. So anyway, I dropped another album after that. I dropped a mixtape called The Rebirth of J Stephens. So I dropped Real Love 101 in 2011 and the mixtape in 2011. Then in 2012, I dropped Transparent 1. And that was kind of like a statement. But this is around the time where I realized like my run in Christian hip hop was coming to an end. Because I'm not about to continue coming in here and singing and rapping in front of your youth audience. Like, okay, I can understand young adults, maybe 18, 17, 16 maybe and up. I can understand that. But everybody else is not going to understand my content. I never made youth group music. That wasn't I never tried to. A couple of songs hit for the youth groups, but that was when I was like 22, 23. After that, like I'm in when I dropped Targeted, I was getting ready to turn 25. I'm a grown man, like a true adult, so my content is different. When I dropped Transparent, boy, that's why I started getting kicked out of churches for my content. Which I remember I was singing one of my songs. Unusual Praise, at a church in Riverdale. And the second verse, this is where I realized, I said, yeah, I ain't never coming back. They ain't never gonna have me back. And this is coming to an end. Second verse of Unusual Praise, it's got a nice little Caribbean beat to it, real, island vibe. Loved it, you know what I mean? It was a really, really good song. But my second verse said, love of money and diamonds and rubies, wasn't thinking about spiritual duties, just a couple of drinks and a doobie. Now I'm looking for big booty juice.
Love of money and diamonds and rubies, wasn't thinking about spiritual duties, just a couple of drinks and a doobie. Now I'm looking for big booty Judy. Oh, my life was over.
Boy, when I tell you, at the end of that event, they paid me by escorting me out to my car and giving me an envelope telling me to never come back to that church. I was like, yeah, bro, this ain't my audience. I can't keep doing it. Now, I had other songs on there, but you might run out of content. So, the song that people really loved on that album was Me, My Keys, and Jesus.
Whenever I have a bad day, I fall to my knees and I pray. I hit the studio, just the three of us, just me and my keys and Jesus.
That song went crazy. People loved it. But, okay, after that, what I'm going to do? Okay, I can dig back to Targeted, and I pull some Targeted songs out, but I'm pushing this Transparent album, so I need to do music off the Transparent album. Nobody's going to buy the album. This wasn't when we were streaming. This is when people were buying projects. I can't sell the album off of one song. Not me. I'm not that caliber of artist yet. I need to do some more music. Man, I started getting kicked out of churches, told never to come back. After that, I started working on another album, Transparent 2, The Unmasking. I think, even though Targeted is the one that laid the foundation of my artistry for real, I think Transparent 2 was my best cohesive project. So Transparent 1, I think, had 13 tracks. Wait, Real Love 101 had, I think, 15 or 16 songs. Transparent 1 had 13. And then Transparent 2, I think, had 17 songs on it. Biggest song on the Transparent 2 album was Church, featuring my homeboy in Life.
Yo, we out here in these streets each and every day, trying to feed a couple sheep each and every way. We gotta get them because they on the run, lead a 99 to get the one. And I'm just doing my job, I'm trying to reach the lost, but still these people try to confine me to a pew and they church.
Now, at this time, this is 2012 when I'm working on the album. 2013, I dropped Transparent 1 in 2012. I wound up losing my voice at a concert. I used to go to this place called the Sparrow's Nest down in Athens near UGA, and I would go out there maybe once a month and do some music and stuff like that, and then do a little sermon or something like that, or talk to the young adults that were there and everything. And I remember traveling out there, and I was feeling weird driving out there. I remember exactly what I had on that night too. That's crazy. So I'm driving, and I felt like my throat felt weird, or how you can tell you coming down with something. And when I got there, I was doing this song called Come With Me, and there's a part at the end on the bridge, and it's a worship song. It's a part on the bridge where I hit a long note that's not in my falsetto. It's like a real sang out fully note. And before it got to that point, I remember saying in the mic, I don't know if I could do this note. And somebody in the crowd was like, you got it, bro, you got it. And I tried it, and I hit it, but it felt weird. So I get home, I'm like, all right, it's cool. Now I'm getting ready to go on like a mini tour at this point. Like I had, I think, 8 stops ready, prepared. And of course, anybody who's done any touring knows that you pick up the dates, and as you hit dates, more people pick up because you've got videos and people tell other people and you whatever. So I had 8 dates solidified between Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi. And so I'm driving back, I'm like, all right, it's cool, you know what I mean? I just get up in the morning, do my thing, get in the studio. I woke up the next day and my voice was gone. Like, voice was completely gone. And I was like, oh, it was that. I must be coming down with something. Sounded worse than how I sound now. I'm actually sick right now. But one day turned into 2, 2 turned into 5, 5 turned into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turned into a month. And I was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, I need to figure something out. So I just stopped talking. I was like, I just need to rest my voice. It's cool. I just stopped talking. 2 months, 3 months, nothing. I'm in the middle of working on this album. I had to let people know, hey, voice is done. Can we book the date back later? They started adjusting dates and times and stuff like that, trying to accommodate. And as time went on, they just moved on because there's no telling what's going to happen. So I remember around month 5 of not being able to sing for real, I remember sitting in the studio and I was praying and I was like, well, God, like, if my voice never come back, I guess we had a good run. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to continue to do this at a high level. I haven't accomplished everything I wanted to do musically, but if this is it, like, I've had a great run. I've been nominated, I've won awards, I've worked with a lot of people, I've been mixing, I've been producing, I've featured here, I've been on tours, I've done a lot of different things. Like, I've had a good run. I had a really good run. And at that point, everything dried up. You know what I mean? It's out of sight, out of mind. You got to stay consistent. So up until that point, I was dropping music left and right, singles, albums, features here, producing here, mixing and mastering. Bro, when you go out of the light for a minute, boy, they forget about you so quick. My phone dried up. People wasn't hitting me up for beats no more, mixing and mastering, nothing. And I remember there was a pastor who had reached out to me and he asked me, he was like, hey, we got this convocation going on in Illinois. It's like, you want to come? I was like, hey, I can't sing. He was like, hey, well, there's an extra space for you on the bus. You got a room. If you want to come on. Like, if your voice happened to come back before the concert, just do the concert. It's like, all right, man, I ain't never been to Illinois. I'll go. Get on the bus, get there. First night, voice still shot. Second night, voice still shot. Third night, or the third morning, I wake up and my voice comes back. And it just so happens to be the day of the concert. So I'm excited. I'm like, oh snap, my voice back. Like, I can sing again. Like, bro, this has been 6 months of not singing. For someone who's been singing their whole life, and this is what I was doing, like, that was my career. That jump was crazy. So the concert rolls around. I load up some songs that I know that I can do that don't require me to overexert myself. And did it. Didn't have no issues. Now, mind you, it didn't sound great, but it wasn't horrible. I hadn't sang in 6 months, and my voice was still real scratchy and a little shoddy and so on and so forth. And did it, came back home, hit the studio, started making beats again, finishing up this Transparent 2 album. And I was like, bro, I don't know where to perform the music at. Like, I don't have nowhere to go with it. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to go and do this music in front of. I feel like I look like an AI video when I got up. I was like, I'm not going to go and do my music in front of those 6th graders, bro. Like, I can't. Like, they don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about, I had songs on there, what was it? Church. We out here in the streets each and every day, trying to feed a couple sheep each and every way. Like, hard hitting, cool. Now, that one did well in church for the most part until people started paying attention to the lyrics and realizing I was talking about not being in church all the time simply because, you know what I mean, you know, for what I was called to do, which was to go out and reach people and talk to people, and I was called to evangelism and outreach and all of that stuff. I can't be in church every Sunday. It's just not possible. So there was church, get up and grind, the unmasking, then it goes into like temptations and acting and all of that stuff like that. Like, I didn't know what I could do with it. So I just put the album out and I wound up getting booked again, but it was like very short lived. You know what I mean? Because I had been gone for so long and I couldn't get those dates back for the tour or nothing like that. So I'm like, man, let me just try to climb back up. Like, you know, I'm stat, bro. Like, people remember me, people know me, like I'm good. It didn't work that way. And I was like, okay, well, there's that. So then I decided to focus more on mixing and mastering. So I just started mixing projects left and right, just doing a whole bunch of mixing. And then I would drop a song here and a song there or whatever, but it was never anything consistent after that. After that, the next project I dropped, that was 2013. I think the next project I dropped was, I dropped that mug in 2018. Decades, yeah, so that was 5 years later. Now, mind you, I started dating my wife in 2014. We got married in 2015, moved to Cali in 2016. Harmony was born in 2017. I had a little issue with my heart in 2018, which is the reason why I dropped Decades. So Decades is still out, but a lot of people listen to it and they say, man, it's a great project, but it sounds unfinished. It is. It's an unfinished project. I put it out because I didn't know if I was going to get the opportunity to. You know what I mean? Like, I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to continue to live or not. It was crazy. Number one, I was overweight, eating unhealthy, went through some stuff, wound up having to wear a heart monitor. I think I went from like 193 pounds in September of 2018 to like 125 pounds to by Harmony's first birthday in December of 2018. Like, I wouldn't eat. I was scared to eat. I couldn't do anything. Had to wear this heart monitor where if I took the nodes and stuff off for more than 7 minutes, they sent the paramedics and the fire truck out there because they thought that my heart stopped and everything. So that happened. Now, during that time, my wife and I were also pastoring the church. So it was a lot going on. So I wasn't really focused on music like that. And then I got healthy again, started working out, bulked back up to about 165, was doing well, started working on music again. I was like, man, I'm gonna drop this. So I dropped a couple of singles. Then I started working on the album in 2019, I think, right before COVID hit. So I started working on Welcome to Statlanta then. I had a song called I Got the Juice that was supposed to be on it. Dropped that in like 2018. It was after I started working out. That was supposed to be the first single. Now here we are in 2026, still working on Welcome to Statlanta. Dropped Admire You in 2021, February 2021. That was supposed to then be the new single from the Welcome to Statlanta album. And then my father wound up passing a few months later. And I just took some time off. I didn't want to do music anymore. Didn't know what to do. And I didn't actually get back into it for real until about a year and a half ago. You know, I was like kind of pulling at straws, just trying to do stuff. I was still mixing and everything like that, but just doing stuff out of habit and know-how and all of that stuff. And so now here we are with the studio, and I'm doing mixing and working on this album, and it's still taking me forever to put it out, and I was just gonna trash it. but people have been asking for it. So that was basically my career in Christian hip hop for a while, or just up until this point. One of the things that kind of turned me off as well from Christian hip hop was when I would go and do these events, and I would do, I would be like an opening act for bigger artists or something like that. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, we trying to, living right, so on and so forth, trying to live right, this and that, single man, not trying to do nothing crazy or whatever. And then just hearing the conversations and seeing how people acted and all of that stuff, I was like, dang, bro, like, is this all just for show? Is it, like, are we just doing this just to get booked, or do we really live this thing that we talking about? Like, it kind of turned me off from it, you know what I mean? Not from the faith, but just that aspect where I was like, man, I'm gonna just do my own thing over here, and I don't care if people talk about me no more. At first I did, when they dogged me out for that Real Love 101 album, if natural reaction, you want to be liked by people. As an artist, you hope people like you. It's your music, you want to put it out. Boy, they dogged me out so bad though, man. And the only person that like actually gave me credit was actually Bizzle. Bizzle tweeted me one day, and he was talking about a song on that Real Love 101 album called I Said Hello. And he was like, man, the writing on that I Said Hello is dope. Now this comes from, I had posted a video talking about Bizzle. This is when Bizzle was getting attacked left and right by people or whatever. And I had made a video about Bizzle, and he thought I was joining in with them. And he was like, man, salute to you. I thought it was something else. He was like, but hey, bro, that writing on that I Said Hello is sick. It's dope. I forget the terminology he used, but it's dope. And I was like, appreciate it. That was like one of the only people who had a name at that time. Not even one of the only. He was the only person who had a name at that time that didn't dog me. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. That's what's up then, I guess, you know what I mean? So once it got to that point, once I realized and saw people not living how they said they was in their music and everything, that's when I realized it was a truly a separation. And I was like, man, I'm gonna just do my own thing, bro. Like, I would rather be living right and you question my music rather than you love my music and then you can actually question my lifestyle.